for today. Hi everybody.
Morning.
How's your been?
It's funny when my parents ask me, what have you done this week? Same as last week.
Nothing. So today we are going to be covering how to use defibrillator, which is also called AED. So for today's course we have asked you to make your own defibrillator so that you can follow along with us. And I don't, there we go. So we're not sure if let us know if you're able to see us okay today, because our Wi-Fi connection isn't looking too good. We keep getting notifications to say that it's struggling. So don't know if anyone's watching or not right now. So your makeshift defibrillator, something like this. So we have our on and off button and 2 pads. And you also need to have watched our CPR session previously as well.
Yeah, so we'll do a quick recap on CPR, just in case you haven't watched that one. But what we're going to do, we're going to push down in the middle. Okay, seems to be working out. We're going to push down the middle of our casualty's chest. So we're going to use Bob again. In between the nipples or hand under the armpit, bring it into the middle of the chest, and that's the desired area. So pushing down in that chest. What we're going to do is take one hand, second hand, onto our knees.
Oh, people are having issues. I'm just going to quickly try and turn my Wi-Fi off and see if that works. Okay, that's me. Just turned the Wi-Fi off and now I'm just running off my data. So let me know if that's any better.
Okay, so back to our recap of CPR. Up on our knees, nice strong position. One hand on top of the other. We'll run through, let's do 30 compressions just as a practice. Pushing down in the middle of the chest. Pushing through our shoulders and our back, which are large muscles. And we're pushing down hard and fast. So it looks like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30.
So that is a little recap on some of the CPR that we taught. Could you just let me know if it's if the picture's any better now? I'm not sure if anyone's able to see us today. So defib. So first off, a question. Where have you seen defibrillators or AEDs? So maybe out in your community, give us a little comment and let us know where you've seen them. So we are from Dundee, well I'm from Dundee, Sean's from Edinburgh, and we have seen them in the gym, we have seen them in the bank, we have seen them, every ASDAs have them. So a little bit of homework for you is to find out where your nearest one is to your house. So a defibrillator, they can look all different, but they normally come in a bag or they'll be mounted onto the wall. If you're from Dundee, there's one also next to the V&A.
Yeah, shops, so shopping centres, hospitals. Maybe just on the wall. Has anybody seen one in a phone box before? Silas and Rory, they're tuning in. Where have you seen one? Where else would you have seen them, Robin?
Bright Ferry have a lot everywhere. Yeah,
some churches.
All over. So comment and let us know if
the
you've
pub.
seen them. The pub. It's a good place to have them.
So the supermarket, yeah. Mum's university, yeah. So high risk, lots of traffic, lots of people. Community centres, yes. So we've got a few different answers. And does anybody know what AED stands for? It's a tough one. We'll ask you at the end. Save your comments just now and let us know at the end.
So AED. So it also gets called a defibrillator, but today we're going to call it a defib because it makes life a little bit easier. So they all look completely different, but they all do exactly the same thing. Now, It's really important that you know how to use a defib, because with doing CPR alone, so Sean just pushing down on Bob's chest, the person's chance of survival just from doing CPR, for Bob to wake up and say, thanks Sean, I feel much better, that's great, it's only 6%. So it's a really, really small percentage. So when we're doing our CPR, we're just keeping blood pumping around the body until the paramedics or the defib can come in and do their job. If you can get a defib within the first minute of someone stopping breathing, their chance of survival is 76%. So that's massive, that's a huge difference. So a defibrillator is a really, really important piece of equipment to use when someone isn't breathing. Now, every minute that defibrillator is, what's the word I'm looking for? Delayed. So if it takes you a while to get to the defib and bring it back again, then their chance of survival does drop 10% every minute. So you have to put your really fast running legs on and try and get there as quickly as possible. Now, if you're the only person who's at the scene, there's no one there to help you at all, please do not leave your casualty to go and get a defib. You need to keep that blood pumping around the body, otherwise the defib won't work. So if there's only one person and it's you, you just keep doing CPR. But if you have two people, so say we've got Bob, he needs help, Sean's going to do CPR, I'm going to use my fast running legs and I'm going to run out and I'm going to get a defib as quickly as I can and come back and get it. So you can only get a defib if there's two or more people there to help you. So they all look really different. We're going to have a look inside our pack right now for you and show you what it looks like. But they all work the exact same way. So that a lot of them will be a lot bigger than this. Sean's one's here. But they all just have two buttons and that's it. That's all you have to worry about. So you have your on and off button, where's your one? And a shock button as well. So just these two buttons and that's it. That's how easy it is to use. Now in the pack as well, it will then come with pads. So we are going to use these pads today. And absolutely anyone can use a defib. You don't need to be trained because you can't ever hurt anyone by using it. So we watch a lot of TV, don't we? So we watch Casualty and ER and Grey's Anatomy and all these hospital shows and we see defibrillators being used. And it looks quite scary, and it makes us.
I've got boom.
And it makes us not want to try it in case you hurt someone. But we're reassuring you, you cannot hurt anyone by using a defib, and we'll talk about that in just a second.
What you'll most likely see is when you put a defib on and you shock, instead of that big jump off the table, you might see the arm flick, or maybe his leg might kick up. But it's like a small movement rather than that big boom that's dramatised for TV.
Morning, Liam, Chloe, Matthew and Joshua, all from Melbourne, and Ross has seen defib in a bus station.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So we have Melbourne, Brisbane, Dundee,
Edinburgh.
2 people in Melbourne, Billy's watching, Edinburgh. Alright, back to
Alright, okay. So we have these defib pads here. So you might have your makeshift ones today with no picture on them, but in real life this is what they'll look like. So you can see that on the picture, it shows you where they need to go on your casualty. So one goes up here, and then the other one goes down on the ribs. So the way that the defib works is, it takes the shock from one pad, and it shoots it through to the other pad, which catches through the heart as well. So you just have a quick look at the picture, see where they need to go, and then that's where you would stick it onto your casualty. So that bit is really, really nice and easy. So the way that a defib works is it actually stops the heart, which sounds a bit crazy, but if you think about when your phone isn't working or your computer isn't working, the first thing that you try to do is turn it off. And then when you turn it back on again, you're just hoping that it's going to work. That's what a defib is doing to the heart. So if I was to hook a real live one up to myself right now, so I was to go out onto the street, hook a real live one up to myself right now, I could press this shock button all day and there's software in here that knows that my heart's working normally, which means it just wouldn't shock me. And the same with someone who's got no heart rhythm at all. So say for example, Bob's been lying on the floor for quite a while and then we try and hook it up to him. Because he's got that no heart rhythm, so if you see like on TV shows and films when someone's heart monitor goes doo like that and it goes a flat line in the hospital, it wouldn't shock them either. So it only shocks someone who needs it. So what's happening is their heart is in spasm mode, which means it's just shaking around like this, even smaller and faster than what I can do with my hand. And what the defib does is when you press shock, it stops the heart. And then that allows it to go back into its normal beating rhythm. So that's why you can't hurt anyone, because the software in here, it analyzes that the heart rhythm needs help to allow you to shock it, and it won't shock someone whose heart is working normally. So you can't hurt anyone by using it ever. So please, if you know that there's one near you and you've got 2 rescuers, someone go and get the defib as quickly as possible.
So there's 9 defibs in Carnoustie.
Oh wow.
Can you tell us where 5 of the 9 defibs are?
Alright, okay, so we are going to show you how to use it. Now it's very, very easy. All you have to do is turn it on, and then the defib is going to talk you through and tell you what it is that you need to do. Alright, shall I do the CPR?
Yep.
So I'm going to be the one who's rescuing Bob right now. I'm going to be doing my compressions. Sean's going to run away and get the defib, so he's got his fast running legs on.
Got the defib, into Carnoustie, got one of the 9, and I'm back. So the first thing that I'm going to do, and we can all do this ourselves with our makeshift ones, we are going to push our on button, which is the green one, and it's then going to talk me through each step, so you guys can also follow along at home.
Pads from package and apply to patient's bare chest.
Okay, so it's telling me to get my pads ready. So what I'm going to do,
apply pads to patient's bare chest.
first of all,
Plug in pads connector next to flashing light.
okay, so it's telling me a couple of things. It's telling me I need to apply the
Apply
pads.
pads.
So I'm going to remove
Plug in connector.
the adhesiveness. I'm going to ask Robin to quickly move your hands, and I'm going to work around Robin. So there's no break. So Silas and Rory, Silas, you can be doing the compressions.
Apply
Rory,
pads.
you're
Plug
getting
in
the defib.
connector.
I'm going to place the second one on the side, just below the ribs. There it goes. And the last thing it's telling me to do,
Apply pads. Insert connector firmly.
it's telling me to insert this connector next to the flashing light. So this flashing light is really good because if you wear glasses, maybe you forgot your glasses, that
Apply
light
pads.
should help you to find
Insert connector firmly.
the connector to insert. So I'm going to put that in now. Your fake defibs at home should be saying the same thing, so we're going to pretend pads are on, insert the connector.
Do not touch the patient. Analyzing heart rhythm.
Do not touch the patient, analysing heart
Do
rhythm.
not touch the patient.
So everyone move back.
Analyzing heart rhythm.
So it's an electric shock, hands
Shock
off.
advised. Charging. Stay clear of the patient. Deliver shock now.
Okay.
Press the orange button now.
So on my training defib, the orange button is flashing, and we'll just make believe
Deliver
that everyone
shock
at home
now.
is also flashing.
Press the orange button now.
And off we go, pressing the button.
Shock delivered. It is safe to touch the patient.
Okay, so as soon as that shock is delivered,
Start
we're gonna
CPR.
get straight back in CPR, trying to circulate that blood around the body. And what's going to happen, this is going to analyse the heart in 2 minutes' time. We're hoping that we kick some rhythm into the heart. Remember, Robin said that if the heart is flatlined, there's no rhythm. If our heart is beating normally, it's not going to shock us. So we keep doing our compressions for 2 minutes. The machine will analyse and tell us shock advised or no shock advised. So So let's say that your defib at home has said shock advised. So we're going to use that again. Using your one here, shock advised, hands off, pressing your green button and try the shock again.
No, the orange button.
Oh sorry, the orange button. Pressing the orange button and shock again. After the shock, we're going to go straight back into our compressions, keep going, and we'll repeat that cycle in the hope that the defib restarts the heart and brings them back to life.
So after the first shock, we'd really be hoping that Bob sits up and says, "Oh, thank you." But if he doesn't and you don't see a sign of life where he's trying to open his eyes or coughing or you can't see any sign of life at all, then you go straight back into your CPR again and it analyses that heart every 2 minutes. So once you turn the defib on, you turn that green button on, all you have to do is just follow what it tells you to do. The pictures are on the pads telling you where you need to put them. It's super easy. The other thing is it knows where you are in the sequence. So it's not going to tell you lots and lots of different things at once where you start to think, oh, I can't keep up. It's just going to tell you one instruction, and then once you've done it, it'll move on to the next one. Now, some defibs might also give a beep noise as well, and that helps you do your compressions to the right time too. But make sure that you've called the ambulance first before you do anything. So that's going back to our doctor's ABC. And now we're teaching you doctors A, B, C, D, because the defib's at the end of the sequence as well. So make sure the paramedics are on their way, and then they will come in and help you as quickly as they can.
Should we run through it again this time, you with the defib and I'll do the CPR?
Yes.
So everybody spent a lot of time making the beautiful defibs. We'll make sure you get use out of them. So, from the top this time, if you're in pairs, maybe Rudy, you're going to do the compressions, Silas is going to go and he's going to get a defib, and we're going to run through the whole thing again. So, we're coming in, we need to start our compressions, up on our knees. Oh, Dad made it, oh, it must be good then. So up on our knees, nice strong position, one hand on top of the other, pushing down in the middle of the chest. I'm going to shout for help, help!
Okay, I'm going to run really fast. I'm going to go get a defib.
That's Robin's cue, and I'm going to come in and start doing my compressions. So we'll count up to 30. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I've got my defib. We're going to turn the green button on. So everyone push the green button.
Remove pads from package and apply to patient's bare chest.
Everyone get your pads. We're going to take off our imaginary sticky bits and pop
Apply
it
pads to patient's bare
in the right
chest.
position. So I'm going to
Plug
do this
in
around
pads
Sean.
connector next to flashing light.
I'm going to stick my next pad on. He's going to move his hands just for a moment. Okay, but hands back on.
Apply pads. Plug in connector.
We're going to stick in our connector. So the flashing light, this part goes in here.
Do not touch the patient. Analyzing heart rhythm.
Everyone make sure you've got some space. Don't be touching your
Do
casualty.
not touch the patient. Analyzing heart rhythm. Shock advised. Charging. Stay clear of the patient. Deliver shock now. Press the orange button.
Okay,
now.
we're all going to press this button.
Shock delivered. It is safe to touch the patient.
So Bob hasn't woke up yet, so we're going to do CPR.
Start CPR.
We're going to do this for another 2 minutes, and then the defib's going to decide if we can shock again or not in 2 minutes. Alright, so we can stop there. Now we have just run through the whole sequence and we've told you that a defib is really, really safe to use. But there are a couple of safety precautions that we do need to think about because we are giving someone an electric shock. So in our pack, it does come with a few other things. Now one of these things is scissors because we need to make sure we're doing it on bare skin. So Bob did have some clothing on today, but in real life we would take our scissors and we would cut up through all the clothing and make sure that the pads are sticking onto bare skin. So in real life I couldn't do it over my jumper. I don't want to waste time taking jumpers off, So you're cutting right up through the clothing and sticking it onto bare skin. So that's one of the things that we have to think about. In the pack as well, it does come with a razor, and this is for super hairy people, and it's to make sure that the pads stick. So if someone has a little bit of hair, that's fine, you can leave it. But if you're dealing with someone really hairy, or any of you really hairy, you have to get the razor and just give them a really quick shave before you stick the pads on, and that's just to make sure that the pads definitely stick to the skin. So that's another thing that we have to think about. We have to make sure that we're not next to the casualty before we press the shock button, because we don't want to accidentally get any of that shock into our own bodies. Now if you did, it's okay. It wouldn't do anything life-threatening to you, but what it means is Bob's not getting the full shock that he needs. So make sure that you take that step back. Another thing is, if it's raining or your casualty is wet, that's actually okay. They don't need to be bone dry. A lot of people think because you're giving them a shock, they need to be completely dry. They don't. But it needs to be dry where you're sticking the pads, so there can't be any damp or wetness. Now, one of the signs and symptoms of a heart attack is that they become really sweaty. So in the kit, you will come with a microfiber towel, and you just need to give Bob or your casualty just a quick dry where you're going to stick the pads to make sure that there's no wet in between. So you don't need to be drying them from head to toe, and if it's outside and it's chucking it down with rain, that's okay, but where you're sticking the pads does need to be really dry. Any other safety precautions?
If your casualty is wearing jewellery, so it might be a necklace, metal is conductive, which means electricity passes through metal. If I'm wearing a necklace and I hit myself with the electric shock, it might leave a slight burn around the neck. But don't waste time trying to flick off little clasps, because they can be quite fiddly. So just maybe move the chain up and out the way, get the pads on and shock, and a small burn is better than an alternative. So make sure you get the pads on and shock as quickly as possible. Pacemakers. So if it's an adult, some children might have pacemakers, but if more likely to be found in an adult, you see a little metal rectangle underneath the skin. This is to help their heartbeat. And if they need the defib, it's not working correctly. The pacemaker has stopped working. So instead of putting the pad directly on top, so my pacemaker's here, I'm just going to move the pad slightly to the side. So it might not match exactly with the image on your pad, but move it slightly to the side. Again, that is metal, and that will leave a slight burn.
Other questions that we tend to get asked is, can I use it on a pregnant lady? Yes, you definitely can, and you can use it on children and older people as well. So because their heart isn't working, you can't cause them any more further damage. So please hook it up, and it will only shock someone who does actually need it.
That's about everything for the defib, so we'll just have a little recap.
We've got some questions.
Make sure that you've all been paying attention. First one, do you need to be trained to use a defib, or can anybody use one?
So if you want to answer, we'll move on to the next question. Question 2 is, where do you place the pads? So we've got 2 pads. Where do we place both of them?
Okay, next one. What does a defib do? Does it stop the heart, or does it start the heart?
It's a tricky question.
The next one, can you hurt someone by using a defib? So if I was to put a defib on Robin just now, could I hurt her?
And question 5 is, can you use a defibrillator on someone in the rain, so who's wet? Can you use it on someone who's wet? And we have one from earlier, and that was, what does an AED stand for? Does anybody know?
Okay, that's a tricky one. So do you need to be trained to use a defib? We've got anyone can use it, so that's good. Where would you place the pads? Yes, one underneath the rib cage, Ryan. One on rib, one near the heart. Yes, so in the upper left chest. Does a defib stop or start the heart? Do we have an answer for that one? Does it stop or does it start the heart? come back to that one. Okay, can you hurt somebody by using a defib? We've got a lot of answers saying no.
That's right, you can. Well done.
And can you use a defib on someone in the rain?
Just make sure it isn't wet where the pads
Yeah,
are.
cool.
Yeah. Silas and Maria,
Yes, dry them first. Good job.
Perfect. Yep, Samantha
Stop
got
then
it.
start, yes, so it restarts the heart.
Can use it in the rain. Perfect, got lots of good
And
answers.
the last one, AED. What does that stand for? We never told you, but I'm expecting, I think Silas and Marie's mum's maybe a nurse or a doctor,
Nurse, yeah.
so maybe she'll be able to help you out. AED, what does it stand for? The last one's defibrillator, so it's just the A and the E we're looking for.
So we'd love to see photographs of you all practicing again at home. Take a picture, show us what you're up to.
Good job, they got it.
We seen someone with a pink cat earlier getting ready to go beforehand. So we love to see your pictures. We will also be posting this up on our YouTube channel if you want to go back and practice it again. Next week we are going to be doing bandages, cuts and grazes. So if you could get your hands on a couple of bandages for next week, you'll need a pad. So you could even use cotton wool or a little bit of kitchen roll for your sterile gauze. And if you can grab a roller bandage as well, so the ones that we went over last week, the stretchy ones. If you can't get your hands on a roller bandage, you can make one with
Kitchen roll.
kitchen roll, yeah, or
Toilet paper.
or a little bit of material. So long and thin, we can do some bandages with you next week. Did anyone get what an AED
We
stands
did.
for? Oh, yeah, Sam.
Automated external defibrillator.
Yeah.
As long as you know defib, that's all you need to know, but good answer.
We have a little bit of homework for you. Find out where your nearest one is to your house, and next week we want to hear where it is. So do a little bit of research. Look out for them as well when you're out on your walks. Have a look on walls and in shops and in supermarkets and see if you can start to point them out and you can find them while you're out on your adventures.
And we got 5 of the 9 in Carnoustie, so good job on that one. That's it for this week, so have a lovely weekend. We've now got 2 subscribers on YouTube. We're coming for you, Joe Wicks. So head on over, send us a follow on YouTube and have a nice weekend.
Yeah, if you want to just give this a little share on your Facebook page as well, so we can spread the word and get this information out to as many children as possible. And we will see you all next week. Thanks for tuning in.